All right, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow is the CPI. We are going to be live 1 hour before the bell if you want all of this live and fast and as soon as possible. But now for tomorrow, I have a breakdown for you, and I'm very excited about it because I think it is super informational, and the fact that we are almost halfway through the year, it really shows us why tomorrow is both very important as well as not important at all, because we have a follow-up CPI before the next Fed meeting. But let me start off with this one. As far as tomorrow compared to the last 6 CPIs, tomorrow is actually expected to move almost half of the amount. The prior CPIs were pricing in about 2%. The last 6 in a row, it was saying based on the straddle price of the NASDAQ and S&P, a 2% move would happen on CPI. For tomorrow's move in the morning, it is only pricing in 1%. So we've already talked about why, but like I'm saying, there's a super simple breakdown in the numbers for tomorrow. It's expected to come in at 5 at the headline and 5.5 at the core. But those two numbers, oh man, they hold a lot of weight. So we're going to go over it. I'm very excited. I hope we see you there live. Like I said, if you have any questions, but I'm very hyped, man. I get to start off rocking the OG Cult merch. This was literally the first ever shirt that we ever had. So I saw it. It looks nice. Not bad after 4 years. Got a little smaller on me. And y'all were clowning on me for my phone thumbnail. I get random objects to get you the thumbnail, man. It's very different. Like you see now, I got a PlayStation 5 controller. Don't get played. You see, we can do a thumbnail like that, man. I got a foam roller. I don't know, see, because the market is going to foam roll the options, the zero. Did you see the VIX one day? I got an onion and lemon squeeze, maybe a sour. We got $20,000, and then we got a sombrero. Okay, I don't know, man. I'm just saying, okay. That was too much time, but let's talk about tomorrow. Okay, like I said, 5.0 is the headline expectation. Core is 5.5. I hate to backtrack, but remember the little anomaly that we've been seeing over the last couple of CPIs is simply core inflation is higher than headline. Typically, that does not happen. Remember, that was the big deal with all of them, but hopefully all these numbers sound familiar. But now for tomorrow, we will get average weekly earnings. You're going to get headline, but all that matters is core CPI. So here is the chart. And like I told you, tomorrow is expected to be the smallest CPI in 6 months in terms of reaction. And I could see why, because you see those two red lines. If core CPI comes in between those lines, we're probably going to do nothing. It's going to kill premium, and then we are going to respond to the debt ceiling and all of that. And actually, since I've been telling you about the debt ceiling, Kevin McCarthy, they had that meeting today with Biden. He pretty much said nothing changed. Everybody is staying with the same stance they came as they walked into the meeting. So we're going to see how that affects. Not good news, not the worst news. Everybody's going to wait for the CPI, but if it stays in this range, it's not really going to have a big effect, and that's where things get weird. And this range right here is 5.5 at the bottom, and the top line is 5.7. And now this is where things get really good, and this is why I like this lesson, because you're going to learn a little bit about why we've moved how we've moved, and again, why this is important, because what it could show for the next coming weeks, and then you still got one more ahead of Powell, so it's not the set-all be-all, but what we are looking for tomorrow now is a number of 5.4. I told you this at the beginning of the week, and believe it or not, coming into Sunday, it was expected to come in at 5.4. There's been a couple of revisions. The expectation right now is sitting at 5.5, but here's the deal. If CPI on the core, headline does not matter tomorrow, believe it or not, unless we are stuck in the range and everyone's just going to play the juggling game to figure out a narrative. But if it comes in at 5.4 or lower, that will be extremely bullish for tomorrow. I will explain why, but let's talk about the other end, the top bar. If it comes in at 5.8 or higher, tomorrow has the potential to be extremely bearish. So let's talk about the reasoning of this, and the reasoning why 5.5, this number that is expected tomorrow, that's where the core is expected to come in. But this number, I mean, it means a lot because the last 4 months, we have not gone below this number. Again, headline has came down, but core has not managed to go below 5.5. That is yet to happen ever since it has gone above 5.5. That's very important to note. So this is that stickiness that everybody's been talking about with core inflation. Powell's been talking about it and everything. So this is why tomorrow, if it comes in below 5.5, that can confirm that, hey, guess what? We are actually seeing inflation continue to go down. If anybody's expecting a pause, anybody is saying, oh, the banks and the economy, the economic data is coming down, that should tighten the economy, then hopefully you see inflation come down. That's why 5.4, it could feed a bunch of narratives. Pretty much if we go below that 4-month level, which we have not gone below, where no disinflation has taken us, that will be seen as positive, and then people will worry a little less about the Fed after worrying about the Fed and Powell and banks and all of that stuff. So if you're not getting it, pretty much if we come in below 5.5 tomorrow, that would be a new and positive development on inflation in general on the broader story, and then especially right here, right now for this year. New positive development, inflation, core inflation is coming down. Fed could say this is exactly what we expected, right? Powell's love it. And there was a survey today. They trust Powell less than Yellen and Bernanke. Who would have thought? But that's the bullish side if we go below 5.5. That's why anything below that number, the trend continues down. That will be very positive. But now, why would it be bearish if we came in above 5.7, aka a number of 5.8 or higher? Because now that would be bearish because it's saying, one, core inflation can't go below 5.5, or at least not easily. And then after all of this disinflation, all of the banking stuff, everything going on, you're telling me that core inflation is not going down and now going back above 5.7, it would actually be reaccelerating. And that's the point. If you see this chart in the end of 2021, it went past 5.7, it went straight to 5.9, then 6, and then it kept going. And then even in June of 2022, same thing. It was expected to come in at like 5.7, came in at 5.9, and then that little disinflation blip kept going into more inflation. So that would be the very negative development for the year on inflation, because if it comes in at 5.8, then people are going to say, well, wait a minute, core didn't come down, and now it's on the way back up at the last level it was there, and then you got to deal with everything else in the market. So that's why I'm excited about tomorrow, and I hope you get it now. It's pretty simple, but it just depends on the scope of the report. Like I'm saying, I'm going to be focusing on the core number. If it comes in between these lines, nothing is new. And that's where I'm saying you can pick apart the numbers, then we're going to play the battle again, respond to other stuff until we get the PPI data, and there's a couple of other things, again, consumer sentiment by the end of the week, then the rest of the central banks. That's if we come in at the margin there. So overall, I think it's going to be exciting. We could get some new developments on inflation that could feed into the bonds and the banking story. And now that's what I'm going to be playing tomorrow. I'm shorting the bonds. If CPI, if that comes in hotter and inflation is high, then I'm going to be shorting the bonds, because then everyone's going to be like, well, inflation's high, even with everything going on. Powell may very well not cut by the end of the year. Then those yields are going to shoot up. A short on the bonds would be good. If it comes in at 5.4, again, here's the thing. If it comes in 5.5 to 5.7, I don't want to play anything pretty much. But that's, again, we'll see where things go from there. But if it came in now at like 5.4, I would cover my bond short, and then I would even look to buy the bonds, because that might fuel some of this bond buying thing, especially after a pretty good demand on the 3-year auction today. So that's where I stand with all of it. It really depends on if we get above or below 5.7, but that is the simple gist of it. As far as any other plays, really just the bonds. We had a nice option play on Upstart. They beat after earnings. We'll see what happens. Airbnb, they beat on adjusted EBITDA, actually one of their records for first quarter. They did good on this report, but they gave their first guide down, and it's like showing their slowest growth in a while. So I'm excited because we're going to watch that, maybe add it to the long term. I did add Walgreens to the long term, I think yesterday or 2 days ago. Yesterday, yeah. Was it yesterday or 2 days? I don't know. I forgot when we updated it, but that's pretty much about it. Again, depending on the report, I think that'll set up up plays. I want to get out of that range on the core CPI because that'll be easy to play. Otherwise, we might need to be patient with plays and just deal with the same market we've been dealing with if none of this inflation comes above or below these expectations. So, Chad, I hope it helps. I hope I see you in the morning tomorrow. But that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure hydrate, healthy, ready to go. Make sure post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. And I need you to get a little crazy. Just crazy enough to take the first step. You know that? That's it. You don't got to go like so crazy, but I hope you know opportunity is around you. But if you never take the first step, you can take this as deep or shallow as you want to, but you just got to take the first step. First step start everything, and you need a goal and vision. I'm going to beat at this table right now, but I hope you get what I'm saying. So, Chad, let's go. Welcome to summer. Is it summer? No, it's like selling May. I don't know. It's weird, but I'm liking it. Either way, Chad, I'll see you in the morning. God bless you. Peace out. I didn't make it too awkward. That was awkward. If there's too much thumb action, why am I moving so fast? Okay, now it's weird. Okay, I'm leaving. Horn.